What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another Heart Over Height episode. Today, we're going to be going over 10 NBA players who will push for their first All-Star game in 2025. And this came out September 3rd, being today, by Grant Hughes on Bleacher Report. So if you do enjoy this content, do me a huge favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment down below your favorite player of these 10 that are listed. So without further ado, let's get into this. So yeah, let's just jump right on into everything. Victor Wembanyama, San Antonio Spurs. I think that this one is probably the most predictable one of the bunch, as in we're going to see a huge jump is what everyone is assuming. As long as he doesn't get injured or something like that, we should expect, especially from a fan vote aspect of All-Star, you should expect someone like Victor Wembanyama to get into the All-Star voting, especially since the team's going to be a lot better this year. He is also going to have more playmakers around him to help get him better overall quality shots. Last season, he kind of definitely just got the green light to just chuck shots up. This year, it's going to be more refining that game to find the best possible shot for his specific repertoire. Next up here, we have Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, that would be two Western Conference players joining the All-Star team. That does mean two people have to bounce out. So let's keep that in mind as more and more, players are added to this list. I do agree, though. I think Jalen Williams is ready to take that next step when it comes to All-Star potential. I mean, the guy's had it, averaging 17, 6, and 5. And, against Dallas in this last playoffs, he is kind of that number 2, sometimes a number 3 option, just depending on the night itself, per either J-Dub or Chet Holmgren there. But yeah, Shea obviously being your number 1, and then kind of J-Dub here playing either similar to like a Jaylen Brown, who is that second star next to Jason Tatum. Same thing, Shea and Jalen Williams here. I could expect definitely a All-Star appearance out of him. I would not be surprised at all if we saw one. Next up here, we have Chet Holmgren of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, I don't see the Thunder getting 3 All-Stars. This would probably be the fans voting in one versus the other, either Chet Holmgren or Jalen Williams. But yeah, I mean, he is a defensive caliber player. He's got that same tenacity of someone like Rudy Gobert, where he's going to do it all on the defensive end, and then he's going to provide some offensive capability too, just as his three-point shot is going to continue to grow. He's, of course, a long, athletic guy, not necessarily the most high-jumping guy, but, of course, a 7-foot unicorn. Why not? If Victor Wembanyama is in that conversation, I think Chet Holmgren deserves to be in that conversation also. Next up here, we have Alperen Sengun, Houston Rockets. Now, I am noticing a trend where we're only seeing Western players, so I'm excited to see who comes out of the East. But yeah, Sengun, another guy, Baby Jokic as he's been called before. He's a solid center for this league and for possibly a trade option as well, as we've discussed in prior videos. Sengun is the kind of guy that does a little bit of everything, just as Nikola Jokic does. Yeah, he's not the caliber yet to a Jokic, but of course he's on trajectory to be putting up solid numbers to help out a roster win games. And especially if Houston starts off the season really strong, you could see there being a case made for someone like Sengun. Next up here, Cade Cunningham. Now this one, I think this and Victor Wembanyama are probably two of the closest locks on this list of All-Star. Just because Cade, I mean, he's going to be playing better with Detroit and everything this year, as they got a couple shooters, Tim Hardaway Jr., of course they got Tobias Harris as well. They brought in a shooting coach that should help out some of these guys that struggled a little bit last year. Someone like Isaiah Stewart should be shooting the ball better. You should expect, just a few other players here to be shooting the ball better, and that should help out Cade Cunningham not necessarily getting a double team every single offensive play that they have. So yeah, I definitely expect, like you could see, step back threes right here. But yeah, Cade Cunningham, I definitely expect, especially putting up numbers like this, 22, 7, and 4, 54% from the field. That three-point shot's going to come. But next up here, we have Jamal Murray. Now, this is if Jamal Murray kind of course, if he's fully healthy, if he is away from that Canada funk that he was kind of in there playing for Canada. He did not play well. But yeah, Jamal Murray has the potential to definitely make an all-star roster. Now, the one problem I have is I feel like if he would have made an all-star roster, it would have been a few years ago. As in like close to the bubble or, around that time, even right after the bubble, their championship run. You kind of expect now there's too many guards, i.e. we just talked about Shea. Of course, Luka's there. You got D-Book. You have, of course, Jamal's in the conversation, but you have players like De'Aaron Fox there as well. Like, there's a lot of guards. Anthony Edwards is here also. There's a lot of guards that might be taking that position away from Jamal Murray. He kind of needs to have a flashback of a season this upcoming season to become an all-star. Not saying I disagree with it, and I wouldn't be surprised necessarily if it did happen. I'm just saying that Denver would need to be a number 1 seed, and Jamal Murray would need to be, definitely towards the top of that depth chart. As far as scoring and playmaking and everything, he would need to be on top of that list. Next up here, we have Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's someone that I think that they need more of a less is more theory, as in they need to get rid of the other big, Jarrett Allen, and Evan Mobley. If he was on his own island for the bigs, I think that he would play a lot better and you'd see a lot more out of his offensive game. But yeah, defensive lockdown kind of guy. With the West being a lot stronger, the East has an opportunity here to have guys like Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, Scotty Barnes, etc. to become these all-stars, to where, yeah, they can flourish because a lot of the talent is over in the West. Next up here, we have Desmond Bain of Memphis Grizzlies. Again, similar to Jamal Murray, I feel like if this would have happened a few years ago would have been his bright spot, as in it seems like there's so many guards and so many wings in the West. It'd be tough for someone like him to make a all-star roster, but not saying that it's impossible. He would just have to be shooting lights out, and it would be something that the Grizzlies would need to go back to being one of those top seeds in the West without fault. So here we have Franz Wagner of the Orlando Magic. I really like this pick actually a lot, as you look at the Cade Cunninghams and Evan Mobley's, just like I talked about. Franz fits in that mold of someone who he's ready to take the next step. He needs to improve that three-point shot, as we know. I think that's something that he's worked on the offseason, and we'll see a better step out of that too with somebody like KCP being over there to help them out, to help showcase what a good three-point shooter really is, because Orlando hasn't seen that in years. Last but not least, we do have Jonathan Kuminga of the Golden State Warriors. That's someone that I have said that might take a huge leap this year, someone that could potentially be that most improved player caliber. I think that Jonathan Kuminga is ready to take a step, to just get the keys, as long as Steve Kerr allows him. And that's the big thing, is will Steve Kerr allow for Jonathan Kuminga to really go out and just do what he needs to do to really flourish and just be that one of the top 2 dogs on this roster for the Golden State Warriors. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you disagree with anyone? I could see a Thompson twin sneaking in here as well, being a part of this, especially Amen Thompson for the Rockets. I think Asar still is a year or 2 away from being there, but I could see it in the future happening. So if you guys did enjoy this content, do me a huge favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment down below on what you guys think, who's your favorite player on this roster to make the All-Star team. And without further ado, it's been another Heart Over Height episode, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.